Hey again guys, in the last radio video I did for you, put up the shelves. Still need to drill some holes in them for cables. Haven't done that yet because I'm not quite sure where cables are going yet. Out here in the woods, we've got medium wave radio, HF radio, also known as shortwave. We've got VHF, UHF analog, and we've got VHF and UHF digital. We're pretty well good to go, I would say. We also have CB. So I'm going to start setting the shelves up, setting the benches up, and try and take my time, make everything nice, neat, and pretty. First radio I'm going to work on getting hung up here is the Anytone 578, which is the VHF, UHF, analog, and digital. All right. Should be straight with the shelf here. No time to turn on the light. It's getting dark, too dark to see. There we go. There we go. I'm gonna mess with the microphone yet because I want to get this other radio hung up and then see how the mics are gonna fall into place here. This is an old Kenwood TM261 VHF, so 2 meter analog only. And I guess we'll go right about there with the bracket.
Hi, Daddy.
Hey, buddy. Give that just a slight up tilt like that. I know you like donuts. It's about supper time. You're not getting a donut. Yeah, that takes care of that microphone. Got this pretty nice fuse panel that Dave found. And it's all wired up from when the radio bench was on the other side of the camp. Haven't had to change anything yet. Hopefully I don't. So I've got my 2 radios here plugged in, and I'm going to try and run my wires and hopefully get this thing down underneath the bench. We'll see. Yeah, that'll work. Of course, I always want to go crooked. There. Matter with that. I guess the nice thing about being a single guy is I can do radio projects and do things like this, and I don't have to listen to anybody complain. Does that look straight to you guys? Looks pretty straight here. We're gonna call it straight. It's the old CB, it works. Old Radio Shack TRC 495. But hey, does the job, right? It can run on AC or 12 volt. And this one is set up to run on 12 volts. Just like that. Got a train whistle blowing in the background. Is there a train coming through? I heard a train. He's ignoring me. There's the auto tuner juice. Alright, what can we do with this? Try and make it somewhat neat. Get it folded around on itself, maybe. There we go. That'll work. Everything's nice and neat, tidy. Just got 2 leads going down that will go to the battery. I'm not going to put the battery in until I finish getting the floor put in. Here we go. Drilling a hole in my nice pretty shelf. Have a piece of LMR 400 that I'm popping up through for HF. On the lower end, it's going to connect to the auto tuner. And up top, it's going to connect to an antenna switch. This antenna switch allows me to have 2 antennas on the HF rig through the tuner. When it gets brought in from outside, a piece of coax will go to port 1, one to port 2. Then whatever antenna I want, I just switch it back and forth like that. I put this ground rod in years ago when I originally put the original solar system in. And it don't go no more. It is bottomed out. It's on ledge. And I don't want it sticking up this high. It's time to do the deed. So I'm going to lop it off down here about ground level. This is going to get filled in more too, so it's going to be buried. And then I'm going to tie in another ground rod to it, which is already buried. Would like to ideally have more contact with this rod. There's going to be 4 rods in this, so we'll have quite a bit of grounding. And the other 2 are not buried yet. The other one is buried horizontally. And that has about a foot, I think, of good contact with the wire to the rod. But this rod's here, so I'm not going to waste it. I'm going to use it. This wire here comes from another ground rod, and unfortunately it wasn't long enough to go to the one we were just at. So that's why we're doing what we're doing. Here's the new stuff. I'm going to cut it off right about here somewhere, like so. This other stuff, this black stuff's Cat 5. This green stuff is coming from the solar panels for the radios, which all that's going to get reworked. These are split bolts. I'm going to use those to join these wires together. I've got the ground wire run up in here. I'll show you that in a minute. Now the bus bar is homemade. And I've just drilled out some toenails in this little block of 2x4, which is going to accommodate this chunk of copper here. So where am I going to put it? Probably right there above the hole. course, it always wants to go sideways. All right, got a mountain block. This is a very thick piece of copper. I got it for free many years ago. Yeah, this isn't some $200 or $150 special you get out of the catalog. You know what? It's home brewing, it's ham radio, right? It's gonna work just fine. I ran a piece of 2-inch conduit through the floor. Gonna run right to there. And I'm also gonna run the solar lines up through there. If you've been around a while, you've realized that ledge is pretty high to the surface here in places. So trying to drive a vertical ground rod, it ain't happening. Over there, I've got one laying in the ground horizontal. And here I'm digging another trench, put another one in horizontal. This top stuff is breaking up, but there's no way you could ever drive down through that. Got that one in, so it's a continuous connection. Goes right down, hooks onto that one. That runs. Continuous connection over to that one. We are in the process of dragging more fill over here. Just haven't bothered yet, really, because I want to get these in the ground first. So they're going to get buried deeper. Here's the polyphaser box with the grounded plate. Still need to ground out the grounded plate. But anyway. Those are antenna loops of LMR 400. Head note for antennas. And I'm making up some jumpers right now to bring from radio equipment to the box. This is the ultra light LMR, so the shielding is aluminum. You can't solder to it. You can't solder on a connector. So these connectors we have are crimp-ons, but you still have to solder the center pin. I have kids again. Okay, I got my connector all on set. So now I'm gonna crimp it on, and then we're gonna solder the center pin. That's the cool part. This little contraption right here is a 12-volt soldering iron. And I asked Dave, I said, what's the wattage? And he said, I don't know. And he goes, it hasn't failed to solder anything I've wanted to solder. I'm like, okay, we'll give it a spin. Try not to blind you with a headlamp, but I can't see what I'm doing without it up here. More lights in here are coming in the future. All you gotta do is turn it on. I'm gonna give it a couple minutes. Not even a couple minutes, really. She heats up pretty quick. You see she's already getting warm. This is all real time. I'm not fast forwarding it for you. She's warm right now. She's ready to go. I'll do another one of these for you from another angle. I've already got heat transfer going into this center pin. Flowing the solder into it. She's done. And we'll turn it off. It gives you a little red warning light. Don't touch, she's hot type of thing. And he said this has a really pointy tip on it right now, but I guess you can get other tips to put in it of different shapes. That's pretty impressive what that is. How freaking cool is that? And that is the same M12 battery that goes with the rest of the Milwaukee kit, with the impact driver and the drill, so on and so forth. Let's see what we get. Ooh, she's stiff. It's going in though. I've only got one HF antenna out there right now, so there it is. No problem. At some point, if I put up another HF antenna, and I just gotta label which one's which, dipole, beam, vertical, whatever, I can do that down the road. No big deal. All right, so in theory right now, we have HF up and running. HF is up and running. I just checked in, it's working. Alright, now you can see it from this side. Watch how this goes. We got heat going. Get some heat transfer. Starting to go right there. There it is. Well, we got that jumper all put in, all hooked up. So the VHF UHF is back up and running. HF's up and running. There's still more work to do, more antennas to put up, but hey, for the winter, we got radios going again, so that's a good thing. In springtime, we'll worry about getting towers put up and more antennas and Chicky Bander going and more HF stuff and so on and so forth. See ya.